It is Super Bowl week, and this year it sucks. It sucks because the Who Dat Nation collectively knows that their black and gold should have been invading Atlanta right now. Instead, the Asterisk Bowl is about to be played in 4 days and we are all rooting for the evil empire from New England, retches. Now what was most interesting to witness after the NFC Championship game had concluded, was the visceral reaction of fans from a few other teams that came here on Canal Street Chronicles in droves to troll Saints fans in one of their toughest moments. The fan bases most vocal were those of the Atlanta Falcons, no surprise there, Philadelphia Eagles, what else would you expect, and somewhat shockingly, the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, and we also saw Minnesota Vikings fans come trolling hard. You know, they've had it in for the Saints since 2009, poor babies. And you know why that happened? Because the Saints beat all those teams this season. Because the Saints figure to be a threat to all those teams for the foreseeable future. Because Drew Brees isn't retiring just yet, and Sean Payton will attack the 2019 offseason and the 2019 regular season with all of his infamous pettiness and anger locked, loaded and ready to run up the score on the NFC once again. The Saints have an offensive and a defensive core that are young and hungry. Make no mistake, New Orleans will contend again in 2019 and beyond, to the dismay of Falcons, Eagles, Vikings and Rams fans. The more successful you are, especially if you are brash and having fun doing so as Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram can be, the more hate you will get. So here's my advice to us all, let's embrace the hate and sling it right back at all those posers. The Falcons, the Falcaholic is so obsessed with the Saints that they wrote this piece about New Orleans allegedly choking in the postseason. The master choke artists from Atlanta are trying so hard to erase the memory of 28-3 despite the fact that we all know that it will go down as the most historic choke job in NFL history. All they have left now is to live vicariously through the Saints, rejoice when New Orleans loses and try to make themselves feel better when the Saints are clearly the better team and the better franchise. Atlanta will be watching its own Super Bowl TV, so of course the fact that the Saints were robbed of a trip to Super Bowl 53 by cowardly referees makes them very happy. It is pathetic. Little brother finally got his shot in 2016, but froze with anxiety and peed right down his leg when it came time to close the deal. 28-3. 28-3, 28-3. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are still the defending champions for the next 4 days, were defeated by the Saints twice in 2018. The first game was a 48-7 dismantling of their franchise quarterback Carson Wentz. That is, of course, if he's actually their franchise quarterback. If you visit Bleeding Green Nation when they're talking about this, make sure you have a bulletproof vest because bullets are flying. The second game, in the divisional playoffs, was more of an emotional crusher, a tip pass intended for Alshon Jeffrey, an interception by Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram wearing ski masks in the post-game interview. Because, you know, they started that whole trend before the Eagles ripped it off, then acted all offended when the Saints running backs pointed it out. I promise you that in 2048, we will still have some extra super mega angry Eagles fans from Bleeding Green Nation coming over here to complain that 31 years prior, a former contributing writer on CSC had written a piece calling them frauds. No matter the fact that most of us here at CSC chastised said former writer for writing that piece. You wouldn't know that they won a Super Bowl just a year ago, they're always so unhappy. We need to send them some warmth and some jambalaya. The Vikings, oh, poor Vikings fans, they cannot forget 2009. They will never forget. And guess what? Even their meaningless miracle of 2017 cannot erase the stink from that loss in the NFC Championship game to the Saints. They fumbled the ball around the yard, had 12 men in the huddle at a most inopportune time, their all-pro quarterback threw a crucial interception, yet all they've wanted to blame that loss on is Bounty Gate. Bountygate threw the pick. Bountygate sent a 12th guy in the huddle. Bountygate couldn't hold on to the ball. And then last year, they had that meaningless miracle, and they were so happy for about a week, then it all came crashing down again. As it always does with our Scandinavian American friends from the north. There's always next decade, mini. The Rams, oh boy, here come the nouveau riches of the NFC, the boy wonder head coach Sean McVay and his Ryan Gosling lookalike quarterback, Jared Goff. This past offseason, the Los Angeles Rams decided to put everything into 2018. They brought in Brandon Cooks, Andrew Whitworth, Ndamukong Suh, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, Dante Fowler Jr., and C.J. Anderson. Oh, and they already had Aaron Donald and a young, gifted Jared Goff. And despite all that firepower, it took a blatantly bad call by two referees from California, to save the Rams from the jaws of defeat in the NFC Championship game. Now thanks about this, the Rams have been largely irrelevant since the time when Kurt Warner quarterbacked the greatest show on turf in the early 2000s, and last Sunday, some of their fans were trolling on CSC as though they had truly earned this trip to Super Bowl 53. Please. Here's a little bit of feel-good for you Who Dat Nation. In what could be deemed a shocker, I'm rooting like heck for Tom Brady and the Patriots this coming Sunday. Does that make me a really bad person? I'll take it. Go Pats go. 0%, 0 votes, 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 0 votes. Total vote now.